Hi Shashwati, how are you?
Sir, I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely good, absolutely good. So Shashwati is our student, ladies and gentlemen. Shashwati has been with us since last year, and wonderful student, wonderful at very disciplined. So we'll be talking about her experience, and we'll be talking about her success story. First of all, congratulations, Shashwati, for converting IIM Lucknow, IIM Shillong, and 9 other IIMs. How do you feel?
Feels good. Feels a relief in life.
Because I remember like talking to you in the month of March when we were going through that GDPI sessions,
Yeah.
and in every interview session you would be very much what do you call it, in pressure as to whether I'll be able to convert it or not. So how do you feel when you have converted almost all the interviews you have taken so far? Yeah.
Yeah. All.
So you have converted every single interview.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's amazing, and I think this is a lesson you can teach to all the people who are going to appear in interviews in the coming days. So tell us something about your academics and work experience. Like tell us something about your journey. What is your 10th like? Where did you study? Something like in the next 2 minutes, just to make students understand as to what has been your life like. Yeah.
So my life has always revolved around Lucknow, and I went to City Montessori School, Gomti Nagar. Then I went to St. Dominic School in Indranagar, and I scored about 94% in 10th, and in 12th I scored around 90%. And then I went for my graduation, BA Economics Honors to Delhi University, Kamala Nehru College, and did fairly well. And then because of my academic inclination, I wanted to pursue masters, and I even pursued masters in development studies from Ambedkar University, Delhi. And I think it was because of my academic inclination that I started teaching right after I cleared UGC NET in economics. And
Correct.
for about 2 years, I think I taught that here only in a college which is affiliated with Lucknow University. And I think it was during those time when demonetization happened, and a lot of when Geo came in with a bombarding the telecom sector. I think something got in me in that point of time, and I understood that business is something that I need to get into. And
Correct.
I was working constantly while I was preparing for CAT, and this was my first serious
Yeah,
whatever
and
you call
and,
it.
and I think I remember meeting you for the first time when you were still a teacher teaching in a degree college, and you had just come from your college, and you came to Aliganj Center to talk about as to how you should go about CAT and all. I remember it very well. So I mean, it might look like. Or you might feel that I'm taking you again into your IIM interview things, but just a question which I want to discuss. After teaching, why getting into an MBA college? I mean, from teacher to MBA college.
I, I, did, I did get that question in
Mm,
one of my interviews as well. And I
okay.
told them that my business experiences, actually 2 to 3 interviews. I even gave IIM Code's PGP Finance interview as well. And I think I was asked this question, and I told them that, sir, when I was in the field of academics, I even got through a PhD course with a particular college. So I
Correct.
remember that getting into an academics and getting that validation of writing a paper, and then doing business, on the other hand, getting that validation in the market, were completely
Hmm.
different. My validation, which I got doing this small enterprise in Lucknow and
Hmm.
dealing with the biggest clientele that I've ever worked with, the business groups that I worked with were amazing. And I
Hmm.
think those were people who pushed me towards actually pursuing this idea that yes, maybe I think I lack something. I lack the skill
Hmm.
of negotiation. I lack several other skills that is there in a business arena, and that is very important in today's world. So I think
Correct.
even my mentors in the business field, they were the ones
Yeah.
who pushed me that this is the right time for me to pursue an
Yes,
MBA.
yes, and I remember a year back when you said like, sir, I think I should drop an idea of MBA of doing an MBA because times are tough, and then we had words together, and then you decided to write CAT again. So I think you have gone through a beautiful journey of getting into an MBA college. I must say, like You have seen the worst of the days, you have seen the best of the days. Sometimes you have gotten very bad at taking mock tests, but still you have coped up with all those things. So we'll discuss that in a while with all the students. Particularly talking about what has been your study schedule like. I mean, leaving the background thing. I mean, you have been a working, woman. So, what has been your study schedule? I mean, you keep yourself very busy in work, and again, finding out carving time to prepare for CAT would be a very difficult task, I believe. So, how did you do that?
I'll actually tell you snippets of what happened during the entire year of 2020. And unfortunately, after a long illness, I lost my grandmother around May 2020. So May, June, I did not study much when she passed away. And unfortunately, again, my dad was diagnosed with corona in the month of August.
I hope he's all
And
right now.
he's well. He's well and kicking. And again, to add to my misery, my mother got dengue in the month of September, October.
Oh,
So my entire 2020 was bad in terms of my emotional sense and how I had to be. So I'll tell you what exactly I did. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I made sure that I'm cooking breakfast and lunch right away, so that because we couldn't hire domestic help at that point of time
right.
because it was
Because of
lockdown
Corona and
period.
all, yeah. Hmm.
Yes, and plus both my parents had a very weak immunity at that point of time. My dad has just recovered from COVID-19, and my mother was already in bed because of dengue, and her platelets were going down and down. So hiring help was not an option. And my account receivables at my office was also very high. So I had to make sure that what to do and how to get the payments done, and so that we make sure. And because we are into essential commodities, it wasn't possible for me to shut the office and just sit back. And then
Absolutely.
money was
Absolutely.
in play as well. So, firstly, food was my priority. 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I made sure that there is food on everybody's table. After that, I made sure that I have a plan about all my clientele and how to go about it and who to call on what particular day. Then I went about reading RCs in the very early morning, because that's when I know that RCs
Yeah.
and everything functions really well, and
Mhm.
it needs the maximum amount of my focus and capacity. So that's what I did. Then I took a break about during the noon time, and ate something. Then I again did my office calls for about an hour or two, and then again I went to DILR. What specifically worked for me with DILR was because this was my first, what I say, serious attempt, or however people would want to put it. I knew that because I'd attempted CAT once before, and DILR and quant were my weaknesses. So I had known that. So I figured that I need sets and I need to practice on a daily basis, because there's no other course material or anything for DILR per se. So I made
Absolutely.
sure that I get that bank, that set bank with me, and I do 5 to 7 on a daily basis, and I maintain the notebook for the same. Right after that, then again, now that lunch and breakfast were already taken care of, around 6 o'clock I had to cook dinner. So then I would cook dinner just like about like 45 minutes or an hour or so. And then my parents were really helpful, and they were always motivating me. It's okay, we can eat only one sabzi, and you don't have to make elaborate dinner. And that. And then at night I would do quant, because quant is something that you only need formulas and all of those things. So cram those formulas and apply them in all the questions. So that's precisely how my September, October, November went.
So how many mock tests did you take? I mean, that's a very important question. Usually people ask, like, how many mock tests did you take?
Well, so I had subscribed to FundaMakers, the entire portal. So whatever topic tests you had, I took all of them. Most of the mock tests I think I've taken. I think you give around 30,
30,
somewhere 25.
35.
Yeah.
35.
So I didn't attempt all of them, to be honest, but I think I did attempt around 20ish, and I also took another coaching material portal, and there also I took almost about 10 to 12 mock tests during the
Good.
end period. Yes,
Good.
these two
Good.
platforms were the ones that I followed.
So how frequently do you take mock tests? Like after you start, when did you start taking mock tests seriously? Like after July or from the month of May only?
No, I took one or two at the end of August to understand where I am. Then September, I increased the frequency a little bit, and I went one mock a week. Then October, 10 days I did not take any mock because I wanted to understand what would be my strategy here on. Because and also I did not have time because both my parents were sick at that point of time. So 10 days I took out, and from 15th of October, I made sure that every 4th or 5th day I take a mock, and till 15th of November I followed that, and then right after 15th of November I again slowed the pace of my mock test till the 29th when the CAT was.
Great, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Like a lot of students ask me as to they are studying into college, like 7 to 8 hours they have to invest into college as well. In college as well, they are into online education. And then they say that, sir, I don't get time to prepare for CAT. So how did you carve out time to handle your family also, do your business also, prepare for CAT also, and then come up with brilliant results? Like, how did you manage all these things? Because I'm sure a lot of students will have this doubt. Yeah.
Well, again, be methodical, be extremely focused. I think that's what I learned from my grandmother as well. Waking up early in the morning, I think there's no substitute to that. We all know, but we don't do it. And so I think I've inculcated that because of my academics background. I think that is something that is always been there with me. I think I wake up in the morning, I have my Naril Pani, and I sit with my business standard, and I'm sitting there and reading the newspaper because I think that's what I religiously do. Even now, when I don't have an examination, I think that's what every student today should read a newspaper, not because of an exam, because we need to. We need to be aware of what is happening around. So I think that's something even my undergrad, college, or my masters, everything that inculcated that culture into me, and even at my home. So I think that is one of
early morning reading is one of the most important tasks a student should take up.
Absolutely. I think that makes you a person. Otherwise, you're just a millennial to not be judgmental. But yeah, if you have to be a person, you have to read something in the morning, 5 o'clock, if that's too early, then 7, 8, however it suits.
I think that's the time when you're most receptive. I mean, if you're not getting up early and reading, possibly you're not taking your productivity to the potential you have already. Yeah, absolutely. So what has been your weakness in CAT? I mean, how did you overcome it? Your weakness was quants, I believe, right? Quants and DILR. How did you overcome
it? And to my surprise, ironically, I scored higher in DILR and quants than my verbal. Yeah. So I don't know how, but I think my biggest thank you with all genuinity of my heart is Himanshu sir.
Right.
I think if at all I've been able to score even 90 plus percentile, I think it's all credited to him. I'm not going to even credit my dad because he's a physics wizard, he's everything that we have in our family. But Himanshu sir was available at my beck and call, on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on calls, everywhere. And I would just post up whatever questions I had and I gave it to him. All his videos on YouTube, I think I don't know why you're giving it for free, to be honest. So, I leveraged all of that, arithmetic, algebra, geometry. I think it's all in Manchester. So that is one that I got sorted over there because I found the right mentor for quant. And DILR, I figured that nobody can help me there, to be honest. Correct. So I from FundaMakers platform and everywhere else, I took out like I said 70 DLR sets and the past year sets.
We have a lot of DLR caselets given in the study material as well and the mock portal as well. Yeah.
Yes. So that happened. I took it. I made a bank of my own self and about five past years. And that's what I did for DLR too, like religiously. That's all what I did. So I actually had in 2018 somewhere around 78 or 79 percentile, and now I think I have close to 96 percentile. And the only thing that worked was that in slot one, that and picking the right sets at the right time, because this was the time when our duration had lessened. So I only initially I would give like 5 to 7 minutes to understand which set am I going to attempt. But this time we had only 45 minutes in totality, so that time of judgment was also lesser. So I just got lucky. I'm seriously telling you, I just got lucky. My Venn diagram set hit really well. I think every question that I attempted, got correct, and yes, that's what.
I think the choice of questions come only when you practice a lot of tests. I mean, keep on taking tests, you keep on taking a lot of caselets, and it's only then when you realize that which one suits you, which doesn't, and then you are able to find out as to which one is the best pick for you in the yeah.
And also, now
Anyway.
because you're saying this, I also would like to add one thing. I always knew that Venn diagram is something that I'm comfortable with, but at the same time, my mock tests were not saying so. I would always lose
Hmm.
marks in Venn diagrams, and but however, I felt that this is my comfort zone. So although I was very scared in slot one while I was attempting the Venn diagram, but
Hmm.
somewhere I knew that it's going to work, and it did. I was
Hmm.
frightened because I really wanted it to work, and in all of my mock tests. So mock test is not a replication of cat test or cat, the real
Absolutely.
cat that we have. So we need
Absolutely.
to understand that. So maintain yourself and at the same time understand what the mock test is giving, and cat is going to be completely different.
How did FundaMakers mock test help you? I mean, if you can give an idea,
Yeah, I think the regularity part that you mentioned, that was one of the biggest thing that FundaMakers helped me to do that. And I still remember Shalini ma'am pinging me up every week or every fourth day to understand, Kecha beta, where are you now? How ahead are you? Because I was scoring
Right.
zero in DIR for most of my mocks, even negative
Correct.
for that matter in few of my mocks. So she was really
Right.
worried कि अरे ये क्या हो रहा है ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए. I was like हाँ ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए. So then we spoke about it, and on the phone only we were just brainstorming कि what can we do, how can we go ahead about it. So I said ठीक है मैं ये करती हूँ. She's like हाँ do this and then we'll get back on it. So I
Right.
think she was my force all throughout, especially for DILR, because she
Right.
would
Right.
always ping me up every third day, fourth day. अच्छा इस मॉक में कितना आया? अच्छा इस वाले मॉक में ये क्या गड़बड़ हुआ? So चलो ठीक है ये वाले मटेरियल को हम फिक्स कर देते हैं. So that's
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
yeah she was there.
Yeah, she is very much concerned about it. Almost all the students. She keep on going through the mock scores of everyone.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
so how did you? I mean, talk about your GDPI experience because after CAT and you get, I mean, GDPI is the thing which you people are usually, very much scared about. So how has been your GDPI experience with FundaMakers? Yeah.
I think, to be honest, for my GDPI, I think it was only you that I went to, and because I think it was very convenient also because our timings matched.
Right.
Even when I was with the client, I would just ping you up, sir. I'll join after like 30 minutes or so, and then you said
Yeah.
okay. So around 7ish, 7ish is when we would start, and for about an hour or two, we would sit together and have that. And I think also what I really liked was that every student was there at the platform when you were taking an interview of one particular person. I think that was
Correct.
a learning lesson for everybody.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that also sort of helped me to get away with the nervousness that I might have facing the panel. And I think all throughout that process, you've helped me a lot understanding what are my merits. And I think you once said this that you have so much clarity, you'll figure out every interview that you go to. And I said, okay, so
Yes.
that's a big
Right.
statement.
Right.
So, but then, I mean, you're a mentor after all. You know better than anybody else.
I mean, God is gracious, but most of the students who prepared with us for GDPI, almost all of them have done well. So,
Also, I would like to mention this. You actually told me what are my calls going to be right after my result came out. If you remember, I called you and I told you,
right.
sir, this is my performance and what do you think? He's like, इसके लिए तैयारी कर लो and these are the interviews that you're going to be giving. So,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct. Right. So, I mean, I think we have talked almost on all the facets. Anything you will add, you would like to add for the younger, generation going for CAT? I think this year again, a lot of your juniors will be going for CAT from FundaMakers. So, what do you want to give them? Like, what any magic tip from your side? Yeah.
There is no magic trick. That's the magic trick. And just hold your authenticity and keep on working. I think that's the only thing that I could say. And the period that we are in, once in a lifetime misery that the entire world is going through, I think
Correct.
skilling up yourself is the basic necessity that every human needs to do at this point. because the moment this pandemic gets over, we will be exposed to a different world altogether, and we have already seen that the richer will get richer and the poorer will get poorer because of the inequality that this pandemic is driving out. So I think we are situated at a position that we should take that responsibility. And if, unless and until we do good for ourselves, we won't be able to do good for the entire country. So take this as an opportunity. Understand your responsibility that you're going to go ahead with, and you have to do it. You don't have any other option. I mean, the thoughts of something going wrong, thoughts of anything not happening good, should just be subsided because the bad has already happened. I mean, it's not.
One thing more, like, I want to ask you, because you are the right person, because I have talked to a lot of students, and 90% of the students say that, sir, my 10th खराब है, 12th खराब है, I don't know how to go about it, मेरा ये call आएगा कि नहीं, वो call आएगा कि नहीं. I remember, you asking me a lot, many times, the same question. I've always said, like, don't worry about things, just focus on your cat, because, that's what you can't go back and change everything, anything, in fact. So, what is your say to all those students who are worried about what is their 10th, their 12th? They are always into this preconceived thought that they will not be able to do well because they have not been good at academics, and if they are bad at academics, they will not be able to qualify CAT and then possibly get into a great opportunity. What is your take on that? I mean, how do you explain them?
I don't know how do you find time to even think about all those things. Secondly, India, a democratic country, has shelled out space for everybody. We have positive discrimination at all the government colleges. So even, I mean, we can take an example of IIM Calcutta. It forgives you for your past sins, and that is what it is famous for. So every college is designed in a way that people of this diverse region of our country can enter in. So if you're thinking that मेरा ये नहीं होगा, मेरा वो नहीं होगा, please understand India is very diverse. Every college understands that, and hence the idea of diversity in academic, gender diversity, academic diversity, all these pointers are there. Please do your research of every college that you're going to fill the form of, and then get into the discussion कि मेरा 10th खराब है, मेरा 12th खराब है. Our entire education system respects this kind of seesaw of career and everything that is there. So, and I understand, because I'm also from a middle class category, and I understand those kind of vulnerabilities that we come up with, especially females. And please understand, all you need is the right guidance. You need that person to tell you that, okay, do the research of all the colleges that are available in this country thoroughly. We get into the bandwagon of preparing for a competitive examination without thinking what is going to happen next. ABC is not the end of the world.
Life has more to offer. If you are bad at, if your 10th, 12th is compromised, you don't have that great scores, it's okay. Doesn't matter. I mean, you give your best into CAT. Someday something beautiful will happen. You don't have to worry about what has happened in the past and keep crying over it. I mean, come on. I mean, and I get so pissed off when students ask this. कि सर मैं 10th में ये 12th में ये graduation में मैं क्या करूँ? अरे तो क्या करोगे? Oh, that's what you can do, right? So
I actually also would want to answer this in a business perspective. Companies want people. We have to understand that. Companies do not want to throw away people, they want to hire people. And if they don't get those requisite people, there will always be a lag as they keep on promoting people. So understand that there is place for everybody. You just have to find the path towards that place. So you will be hired, you will be getting into the right college for you and the right company for you. So understand that, figure out what is right for you, and then get ahead. Because that place is always going to be there in that hierarchy.
Absolutely. I think this was a wonderful talk with you, Shashwati. I don't want to linger on this talk for a long time, because students have very short attention these days. They want to see something in a flick and then get over it. So I think in this short span of 20-25 minutes, you have given them something great message, some great experience as to how they can go ahead and prepare for CAT. Thank you and congratulate you on behalf of FundaMakers family, me, Shalini, Himanshu, Vikram, Saeed, and all those people who are associated with FundaMakers. We want to congratulate you. And we have a wonderful, wonderful journey ahead. Wonderful journey ahead. And we'll keep in touch. And I'm sure the students at FundaMakers will keep on asking you a lot of questions on WhatsApp and Facebook. So,
Thank you for being there for every student out there. Thank you for being available at any point in the day. And I think, and bigger thanks to Shalini ma'am, to you, Himanshu sir, and everybody else who takes care of things. I think this wouldn't have been possible without you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. At the end of the day, it's mutual happiness. Your success gives us happiness.
We know that there's so much more to come. I think we have a lot more enterprises to work on.
Yes, we have. We have, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks so much.